And, you know, I give much props to all of the mothers, grandmothers. When I taught at Northwestern, most of our kids, the majority of our kids, were not being raised by their mothers or their fathers. They were being raised by their grandparents, usually their grandmothers who were in their 50s, 60s, and sometimes early 70s. And so many of the, when the school tried to address solutions, and when they tried to have parent-teacher conferences and tell things, many of the things that they were trying to tell these folks to do would not fit because they were not dealing with the traditional family concept. And so I would always try and talk with my administrators, you know, to get them to see, look, we got to begin to do things differently. We got to have programs now for grandparents who are raising these children. We got to begin to have things where when we have a parent-teacher conference, it's got to be somewhere else, you know, where we're keeping the little ones at, and we got to begin to teach these grandparents some things that they're going to be the main caregivers, some things that they can use to burn off the energy of these young people whom they can't match their energy. And another prime example is like most of the, you know, my fellow panelists, like they've said, Robin and Sister Robin mentioned that, you know, we don't want our young people to grow up thinking that marriage is only for white people. And that is important because as a young person, when I was growing up, I didn't see too many healthy marriages. And nowadays, especially amongst people under 35, it's very hard to see healthy marriages. But at the same time, we are in denial if we're going to say that, you know, in the terms of the black family concept, that marriage is the only solution. Because they did a series of articles that appeared in newspapers across the country. You can go and begin looking them up last year, where they went to all of the major urban cities and even the smaller cities across the United States where there are majority or large black populations. And what they found was that in the maritable ages of black men and women, black women outnumbered black men 3-to-1, going up to 6-to-1 and 7-to-1. This was in all of your large cities and then your smaller cities to your Flints and Pontiacs all across the country. They started printing articles like, you know, communities with no men. And so that means that even if we had a perfect situation where every brother out here who was functional and of age married a sister, it would still leave 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 sisters without a mate. And this is what I'm saying. We're the government officials who first started talking about there would become a day, like Robert McNamara did, there would come a day where black families would be lacking black men. There would be you know, they started that talk in the late 60s and early 70s. And now, and we didn't do anything for 30 years, and now that day has literally come, and we have to begin to take some different methods and different strategies to begin addressing these problems. And that was what I was